There's a certain kind of presence that doesn't need volume. You've seen it before. A man walks into the room, says nothing, yet the air seems to change. People glance, not out of fear, but curiosity. They can't explain it, but they feel it. Calm, grounded power. No arrogance, no desperate need to be seen, just control. That is real charisma, the kind that can't be faked, because it doesn't come from words, clothes, or looks. It comes from silence, from the mind that's already mastered itself. But most people never reach that level. They chase approval, they talk endlessly, they overthink, they seek validation, they confuse noise with influence. And the more they try to be liked, the weaker their presence becomes. The Stoics understood this centuries ago. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." True power doesn't shout, it simply is. In this video, we'll uncover 5 hidden habits, small, invisible behaviors that are quietly destroying your charisma. You'll recognize them because you've seen them in others, and maybe in yourself. By the end, you'll understand how Stoicism transforms not just how people see you, but how you see yourself. Welcome to Anonymous Achiever, where we turn timeless Stoic philosophy into modern power. Habit 1. The habit of deflecting praise. When someone compliments you, how do you react? Most people don't realize that deflecting praise is one of the fastest ways to weaken your presence. Someone says, "You did great today," and you instantly reply, "Oh, it was nothing," or "I just got lucky." It sounds humble, but it isn't. It's a subtle rejection of connection. Because when someone gives you positive energy and you push it away, you're not showing modesty, you're signaling insecurity. Charisma isn't about constantly giving. It's about receiving with grace. A Stoic leader doesn't shrink when acknowledged. He simply says, "Thank you. I appreciate it." That's it. No over-explaining, no downplaying, no jokes to dodge the moment. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Receive without arrogance and let go without attachment." When you accept praise calmly, you're not feeding your ego, you're affirming your composure. You're saying, "I can hold this energy without losing balance." Think of it as a mirror. When someone offers respect, reflect it back with stillness. That's real confidence. Not loud, not flashy, but steady. The next time someone acknowledges you, don't hide behind false humility. Look them in the eye, breathe, and simply accept it. It's not pride, it's presence. Because a man who cannot receive cannot lead. Habit 2. Reading negativity into everything. The mind is a master storyteller, and sometimes it tells cruel stories. Someone doesn't text you back, and your brain whispers they're ignoring you. A coworker frowns and you assume, they must be judging me. That's how insecurity takes control. You start to read negativity into everything, handing your peace to people who don't even know they hold it. This is the trap of mind reading, a silent destroyer of charisma. I once knew a man who was brilliant, confident on paper, but in conversation, he overanalyzed every tone, every pause. He could never relax, and people felt it. They didn't see intelligence, they saw tension. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens that disturbs us, but our judgment about what happens." The Stoics knew, perception is power. A calm man doesn't assume bad intent. He waits, he observes, he questions his own thoughts before reacting. Modern life tests this constantly. Maybe your boss replies curtly, or your partner seems distant. The old you reacts, the Stoic you breathes. You ask, is this fact or is this fear? The moment you pause, you reclaim control. Because the truth is, most people aren't thinking about you at all. They're just lost in their own chaos. The world mirrors your inner state. If you carry peace, you'll find peace. If you carry paranoia, you'll find enemies in every shadow. Charisma dies where overthinking lives. To rebuild it, master this. Never assume, always observe. Silence your story before it controls you. That's how presence is born. Habit 3. Trying too hard to be liked. There's a strange desperation that creeps into people's eyes when they try too hard to be liked. The constant jokes, the forced laughter, the loud opinions, it's all armor, a way to hide discomfort with silence. But real charisma doesn't chase attention. It draws it by not needing it. There's a story about an actor who was known for his calm presence. During interviews, while others cracked jokes to fill the silence, he would pause, think, and speak slowly. And yet, everyone leaned in when he talked. That's the paradox. Silence makes people listen. Seneca said, "The greatest display of power is restraint." When you try to be liked, you lose your edge. You become predictable, performative, light, like smoke. But when you are still, your words carry weight. The Stoic practice isn't about being emotionless, it's about being selective. You don't waste energy proving yourself. You don't rush to impress. You simply exist as you are, and that's enough. Because calm confidence is magnetic. The next time you feel the urge to fill a silence or prove your worth, don't. Let the quiet do the work. That's the moment people realize this person isn't trying to be liked. He's already complete. Habit 4. Chasing the spotlight. Ego loves the stage. It wants recognition, validation, the last word. But the irony is, the more you chase the spotlight, the dimmer your light becomes. I once watched two people in a meeting, one constantly reminding everyone of his achievements, interrupting others to take credit. The other spoke only when needed, but every time he did, the room listened. Guess who they respected more? Seneca said, "The man who seeks admiration often loses the very thing that makes him admirable." True charisma isn't about being the loudest, it's about making others feel seen. When you share the light, your own glow multiplies. The Stoic leader doesn't compete, he completes the moment. He praises others publicly, corrects privately, and lets his actions speak in silence. In a world obsessed with attention, humility becomes rare and therefore powerful. The next time your ego wants to jump in, pause. Ask, do I want to be respected or just noticed? Because one fades, the other lasts. Habit 5. Always needing to win. There's a dangerous addiction most people never notice, the need to win every argument, every joke, every interaction. They treat life like a contest, not a connection. You've seen it, people who always have to get the last word to prove they're right. But that kind of victory is empty. It drains your peace, your energy, your charisma. Epictetus once said, "The wise man doesn't need to win because he has nothing to prove." Imagine a conversation where someone mocks you, expecting you to defend yourself, but instead you smile and say, "Maybe you're right." Instantly, the power shifts. You've broken the game. That's Stoic mastery, winning through stillness. I once saw a CEO handle an insult with that kind of calm. Someone challenged him publicly, expecting a reaction. He just said, "You might have a point." The entire room went silent. Not because he was weak, but because his composure was stronger than any counterattack. Charisma doesn't come from dominance, it comes from emotional control. The man who can't be provoked has already won. Socrates taught, "The strong seek peace within the mind." Let others fight over small things. You focus on the higher game, self-control. Because in a world addicted to reaction, calm is rebellion. Real charisma isn't built on noise. It's built on stillness. It's not about saying the right thing. It's about being the kind of person who doesn't need to. Remember these 5 hidden habits. Stop deflecting praise. Stop reading negativity into every word. Stop trying too hard to be liked. Stop chasing the spotlight. Stop needing to win. Every time you let go of one, your presence grows quieter, heavier, stronger. You don't need to demand respect, you become it. Because true power doesn't announce itself, it emanates. What are your views on this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I will personally read all of your comments. And if you seriously want to level up in life, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button. Stay strong. Until next time.